Kita boleh mula, Doktor?
Boleh kot, insyaAllah.
Okey. Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera kepada semua. Selamat datang kepada program Postgraduate Webinar untuk Perintis Postgraduate Webinar Series. Okey, untuk hari ini kita bertuah kerana kita akan mendengar satu sharing daripada Dr. Associate Professor Dr. Mardani Rosli dari Multimedia University. Okey, selamat datang kepada semua. Sebelum tu saya ada beberapa perkara, iaitu pertama kita sekarang mengalu-alukan keahlian daripada semua untuk keahlian seumur hidup perintis. Okey, sempena mesyuarat agung tahunan perintis 2022. Jadi di sini kita akan perintis memberi diskaun sebanyak 50% kepada yuran keahlian daripada 1 Mac sehingga 30 April 2022. Jadi kita ada masa lagi kepada sesiapa yang belum menjadi keahlian, mungkin dah jadi ahli tetapi bukan keahlian seumur hidup, dan juga keahlian yang belum menjadi ahli perintis boleh mendaftar, okay, dan mendapat diskaun sebanyak 50%. Okay, 50%. Okay, sebelum kita mulakan pada pagi ini, berkenaan tajuk kita pada pagi ini adalah Career Opportunities for Postgrad Student in Science and Technology. Okay. Akan disampaikan oleh Associate Professor Dr. Mardani bin Rosli dari Universiti Multimedia. Okay, jadi sebelum saya pergi lebih lanjut, sebelum kita jemput Associate Professor TSIR Dr. Mardani, saya akan bacakan short bio beliau. Associate Professor TSIR Dr. Mardani is the Chairman of Center for Wireless Technology and Deputy Director of Research Management Center, Multimedia University. He is also the Chief Executive Officer, CEO, and the founder of Armada Smart Tech MR Sedia Berhad, and was the President of MMU Staff Association. At international or local level, he was a chairman of IEEE Malaysia in Comsort of VTS and served as vice chair of Malaysia Radar and Navigation Interest Group, MyRAN IG, and Malaysia Society for Engineering and Technology, MySET. His current research interests are the 5G or 6G telecommunication, D2D satellite, Internet of Things and radar communication. He is actively involved in consultation for local and international companies for more than 10 countries. He was invited as keynote speaker for more than 10 international conferences worldwide in the field of wireless communication and have served as general chair for 5 international conferences, including served as high committees for more than 40 IEEE international conferences. He has been invited by IEEE International Conference as an invited speaker worldwide at Thailand, China, Australia, Korea, Indonesia, Singapore, Japan, French, United Kingdom, Spain, Canada, New Zealand, Romania, India, and Turkey. Associate Professor Mardani is winner of many international prestigious awards, including the Top Research Scientist Malaysia, TRSM 2020 from Academy Science Malaysia, VTS Outstanding Research Award 2020 from USA, World Invention Special Award 2019 from Korea, Excellent in European Creativity Special Award 2018 from Romania, and University Excellent Researcher Award 2016 and 2018. Under his exceptional leadership, IEEE Comsort VTS Malaysia chapter emerged as the recipient of VTS chapter of the Food of the Year Award in 2017 in Toronto, Canada, winner of IEEE Malaysia Outstanding Large Chapter Award 2019 and 2020. He is the recipient of IEEE Malaysia Outstanding Volunteer Award 2021, which was one of the only recipient for the prestigious IEEE Malaysia Section Award in Malaysia. Okay, kira banyak sungguh pengalaman yang Associate Professor Dr. Madini ada. Jadi kita sangat bertuah pada pagi ini dapat mendengar sharing daripada beliau berkenaan tajuk Career Opportunities for Postgrad Students in Science and Technology. Jadi untuk tidak melengahkan masa, saya mempersilakan Associate Professor Dr. Madini bin Rosli untuk menyampaikan talk beliau. Okey, dipersilakan Doktor.
Okay, terima kasih Dr. Prof. Dr. Suzaimah. Let me share my screen first. Sorry. So boleh nampak, Dr.?
Boleh.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to all. I think before we begin this one so-called sharing sessions, just to confirm our language English ataupun Malay, Doktor? Or mix?
Mix.
Yeah. Then most of the audience is local or international or mixed? It mix lah, right?
Mix lah.
Okay. Okay. First of all, again, thank you as a Prof. Technology Dr. Suzaimah for the introduction. I think it's quite long, the short bio introduction. And thank you very much to the Perintis, our Persatuan Saintis Muslim Malaysia, inviting me to this webinar. So this is actually my first time giving a sharing sessions to Perintis. And thank you, Dr. Kairayu from IUM, approaching me and inviting me to this webinar. Okay, inshallah, within this 1 hour time, we try to discuss lah benda on the, actually the topic is proposed by Perintis. It was very interesting. Is on the career opportunities for postgraduate students in science and technologies. Okay, when we look at this title, I think most of the audience, they are now pursuing their masters or maybe PhD or maybe postdocs in your universities. Okay, so first of all, I'm Mardini. I'm from Research Management Center at University. I'd like to congratulate to all the postgraduate students, including the postdocs. It's because not many people like you all that's having these opportunities in pursuing these studies. Because most of the graduate students from bachelor, some of them they're working. And doesn't have opportunities in pursuing their study. So that's why, alhamdulillah, you are the lucky person selected to pursuing your master PhD in your universities. Okay, so inshallah, what we are trying to share today, actually I'm not really expert, just want to express my experience lah. Okay, I am from Research Management Center, and also I was the president for staff associations in our university. So I was handles around 2-3,000 staff in about their careers, especially those finishing their master's, PhD in their field. Internationally and also locally. So we're talking about this topic, right? Career opportunities. Maybe the one thing like cross in our minds, what we do, what we should do today, and what is our plan. So inshallah today, okay, sorry, as requested by our association, so we request all the audience to scan this one because we want to know about your detail, especially your backgrounds, where you're studying. If you're pursuing masters, just put master. You're pursuing PhD, you can put PhD in what major and so on. Maybe you're also interested to see, to know, maybe you have a problem, or maybe you seek the advice from your advisor, or maybe from any of us. So we are here to share. We are here to share to all of within our community lah. So kindly scan to join this session. Okay, thank you. Okay, inshallah within this 1 hour times, I will try to cover 3 benda. First is about the career. Of course, they have their own ambitions, cita-cita, and also the careers in their life. Okay. In other words, we want to achieve something in our life one day. Okay, so it means before we achieve our ambition, we should identify ourselves, and we should know what, why, and how the career. What, why, and how the career. Okay, this is the first thing inshallah we discuss today. And the second one is about my field. Okay, I'm from engineering background, so engineering is come from the science and technologies. So maybe I guess all of us, we are from the same background, which is engineering, science and technologies, and maybe some of us also from other fields, maybe from management ataupun from law, administrative, and so on. So you also welcome to listen our sessions. Okay, and the third one that's we can discuss maybe is on the especially for the students. I mean the postgraduate student that's pursuing maybe masters or PhD or maybe postdoc today. So maybe we have to know what you have to do before, during, and after. I mean your maybe your master, your PhD, or maybe your postdocs. So before, during, and after. So maybe there's some maybe some sharing session guideline so for us. Okay, these are the 3 keywords, 3 topics that we may discuss today, inshallah. Okay, when we're talking about this career, okay, it's very, very subjective. Okay, and some of our according to the statistic, most of the graduate students from bachelor, more than 50%, they are pursuing their study in master or maybe PhD. It means they're not go direct to working experience. So they are interested in pursuing their study, master and PhD, and then maybe they have a plans after they are finishing their masters or maybe PhD. They have a plans to work as academicians. Academician, especially those tutor, have a plans to work as academicians, lecturer, senior lecturer, as a prof, and so on. So that's your plans after you finish your first degree. Yeah. So in this situation, right, some of the means our graduate students, they are means they are sponsor their study during their first degree to works in the industries. That means they don't have opportunities in pursuing their study in masters or PhD because they are bonded. And after they graduated their degree, they have to straight away kena kerja lah at industries or company that sponsor them. So some of them also they have after they finish their degree, they're interested pursuing in their masters or maybe PhD. So dia apa break the contract lah. So some of them they are pay back bayar balik, and they have to they're interested to pursuing their master PhD. Some of them they have many cases. They are interested in pursuing the masters. Even during the first year of the degree, they have a plan to work in one particular industrial company. So in this case, they change their ambitions daripada maybe from engineer to become the academicians. Okay, and some of the candidates, I mean the student, master and PhD, when they're doing a master and PhD, they're thinking that after they finish the master PhD, they will work as lecturers and so on. Actually, it's not the correct answer. Actually, doing master and PhD, it's not only you can go to academicians. Actually, you can go to other sector as well, as researchers, as working in the industries, as supervisors and so on. So if you're interested more on the, for example, product development, you can work in the industries. It's not necessary you work in the universities. But if you really love, in study, in academicians, so education, so you may go to the education line. For example, myself and also my colleague, we have this ambition since our first degree. Kita nak jadi academician lah one day, because we interested to deliver our knowledge to our potential student, and we also interested in doing our research for the community and also the peoples, especially for our nation. So we have this interest in our life. Maksudnya kita minat mengajar, kita minat memberitahu what we know, and then we minat to do research. For what? For the benefits of the community. We start with the minat. Kita minat lah benda tu. That's why, for example, in my career, I have this ambition and I have this strong interest. Saya minat mengajar dan juga saya minat buat research. So that's why I go to the education line. Okay, so it's about the career. Maybe they have a question on the choosing a career. Memilih career. Senang tak memilih career? Especially, actually, it was the plan. It was the plan since for example, in Malaysia, it was the plan since the secondary school. Secondary school, you can go either science stream or maybe social, art. So if you're interested, maybe in the science and technology, so maybe you will start with the science lah. Those especially went to MRSM last time, and also maybe not MRSM, maybe sekolah bersama penuh and so on, sekolah menengah agama tinggi and so on. So they are interested in the science technologies. So maybe they have ambitions to work as a academician and maybe a scientist one day. So is in choosing the career is considered one of the hardest and most exciting. This is choices. Choices. Although you have in the world, they have a lot of choices you can make, and the decision is from you. And some of our candidates, I mean, our student, the ambition is based on their parents' advice and so on. So there are a few rules for me to share with to everyone and also to myself as well. Okay, the first rule is choose a career that some things you really like to do lah. That means macam kata tadi, kenapa I'm in the education line is because I really like in teaching, I really like in research. And now I'm in admin side, so I really like to work as under the admin. Okay, so in my life, in my career today, I'm more to admins and teaching and research. So this is something that I really like. So these are rules one for you to choose your career, and the rules two is you cannot simply choosing your career without the proper plan. It means you have to do a research. You nak jadi apa? You mean you plan nak kerja sebagai apa one day? So you have to do your research. That means you have to choose carefully and thoughtfully. It's not based on influence from your friends, from your you can get advice from the parents, but decision is from you. Decision is from you. Of course, all the parents, they want their children to choose the right career for their kids' future. So you can get advice from the parents and as well, but the decision is from you. You have to choose which career that you really like. Okay, and then the rule number 3 is this is very important. When you choose a career, make it meaningful to you. So what's the meaning of this sentence is, hari-hari, setiap hari you katakan you are in the education line. So any activities, any task that you do every day is really make a meaningful to you. The meaning for meaningful to you is at the end of the day, at the end of the project, at the end of the month and so on, you feel very, very plus. You're party with the things that you did. You're really happy. It's like you say, wow, I am really satisfied with what I'm doing. It means when choosing a career, you must have these 3 rules. They have some cases where the candidates they're choosing the career is based on the, for example, gaji. Of course, like everyone's, they prefer better salary, better place, and so on. But when you're choosing a career, you must have at least these 3 rules. You must choose something that you really like, and then you must do research. It's not simply choosing your careers without a careful and thoughtfully, investigation and so on. And then the important here, make sure what you do, your decision is giving meaningful to you, dan juga your family. And make sure your family suka lah what you do. Okay. And in other words, you owe it to yourself to look for work that is meaningful and rewarding. Itulah, it's meaningful and rewarding. So itulah, kita nak dihargai dan kita nak buat sesuatu yang kita suka. Okay, another points that we can discuss here, maybe in choosing the careers, choose the career option that match your values. Okay, this is a very important keywords, the values. Okay, so what's the meaning for the values here? For example, in education line, value something that's giving the impact. Giving the impact is not only to yourself, right, to the community. Okay, in other words, for example, I believe for masters and PhD, you're doing a research and then the research giving the impact. Okay, so how we can see the impact? For example, it changed the, for example, it changed the community life, it changed the nation life. It's not only you publishing your paper, it's not only you patents your product, tapi you're not really giving the impact to the community. In other words, after you patenting your product, so make sure it can be commercialized and then it can give a benefits to the public. Biar semua merasalah apa yang you buat It's not only you publish, then you finish your master's PhD, you graduate and so on. So means you have to do more extra. You have to do more extra in your study. It means after you finish your master and PhD, you will feel very happy. Then you can story to your friend, master tu you dah ada PhD. You explain lah to your friends in college. I'm happy with my PhD because during my PhD I have done a lot of contributions. I mean making values to myself and also to the community, especially my university. You can tell your friend. Okay, in choosing the careers, right? Make sure you know what you value most will help you refine your careers, search and choice. For example, suka membantu. You like to helping others. For example, the research that you're doing now, maybe you can ask yourself either your project now is able to helping others or not. Ada tak boleh membantu? It's very simple lah. It's very simple. Like for example, in telecommunications, in telecommunication engineering, dengan mobile phone yang ada dekat in Malaysia and worldwide, adakah yang membantu? Okay, so it's definitely is very important, especially during our pandemic lah. Yang mana mobile phone, laptop and so on is the telecommunication devices sangat penting. Kalau tak, no classes, no meeting and so on. So you can see here, this is the contribution from the this particular field, telecommunication engineering. And then make sure what you do in your career is must be prestige. And this one is very common, high income. It's very common income. Okay, contohnya after you finish your masters, or maybe your PhD, you join one industry. For example, my field is in telecommunications. So for example, you join maybe Maxis. So in joining Maxis, you should give a full commitment, working in teams, okay, and helping each other for what? To achieve the objective of the philosophy of the company. You understand, right? In other words, we do our projects is to helping each others, and the important is the income. Duit masuk. It is very important. That means if your product is not good, if your product is not valuable for the peoples, so probably tak ada orang belilah your product. So in other words, the company akan mengalami penurunan income and so on. So that's why something that you do in your career, you must think about this. Make sure it provide the high incomes to your company. Contohnya, even the professor in the university, what the research that they do, okay, for example, they are set up their switch off and so on. It makes sure you will give the income to the university. Make sure you give income to the university. Okay, so every funds that the researchers, professor getting, securing from the either government or maybe industries is actually giving the income lah to the university. Okay, where the researchers ataupun professor they can hire the postgraduate student. Itu salah satu income. So means the lecturer researchers is give a full commitment. So means that's why your supervisor, your current supervisor, they did a very, very good job because of them, you are able to pursue your master and PhD because they are supervising you now. So I mean, in other words, they give a very full commitment to the university. So and then when you're talking about the values here, about the working hours. To be honest, for the education lines, our working hours is flexible. The log in, log out, punch card and so on is just a procedure. Actually, as educations or professors, we are working in the flexible working hours. Even at night kita kerja, even midnight kita kerja, even weekend kita kerja, any times that you like. This is the education line. So I mean you will do whenever you are you want to do, and there is no restriction on the time. I mean, you tak mesti you kerja daripada pukul 8 sampai pukul 5 saja. You can do any time. It's a very flexible. This is the education line. But for in non-education line, maybe industry and so on, or admin, they have to work in the working hours. They have to work in the hours. So it means that when you choose your careers, right? When you choose your careers, the work that you do is actually giving values to you and also your company. It's not limited. Either you are working in the full-time or flexibles. As I said, education is more flexible. And then for other than education, maybe is fixed hours. So it means either flexible or fixed, make sure it's giving a values to the company lah, I mean university and so on. Okay, then make sure it's you have to establish and align the values, career choice, and the importance, the goal for the motivation. Ini very important. Selepas you finish your degree, maybe you don't have you don't get any good advice from advisor ataupun from yourself. That means you're not motivated. Lepas ni nak pergi mana? Lepas you punya first degree, you nak kerja ke? You nak study ke? And so on. In other words, when you're choosing career, make sure you have to make it properly, you make a right choice, and the important is you establish and make sure it's aligned with the values. This is a very important keywords when you're choosing a career. Value, value. You happy, and then semua happy, and also this is very important. The task, the project, or any activity that you do, make sure is giving benefits to everyone. Bukan saja untuk diri sendiri, untuk semua. This is the very important in choosing the career. In other words, there is no substitutes for knowing yourself. Hanya you lah yang tahu about this careers. Okay. The other thing that I may touch here is about the economy. Economy. Okay. Of course, many I mean the candidates during the interview when we interview, they want to work is because of the financial This is benda yang common and the reason why they are here during the interview is because to get a salary and so on. Okay, so one thing that's maybe you can discuss here is about the surviving in the fast economy. What's the meaning for fast economy and how to survive? First is you will always have some control over your career. This is very important. Macam saya kata, you are the one that you choose your careers. Okay, and when you're choosing the careers, it's not only you know this is what you do when you are getting the job and so on. At first, you must accept the risks. Setiap kerja ada risiko. Setiap kerja ada risiko. Okay, so example of the risks, maybe in education line, maybe in your study in masters, you also have your own risks today, last time and for future. Maybe you're not able to get the result. You dah pergi lab, you dah discuss dengan your supervisor, tapi tak dapat result juga. Okay, in other words, you dah collect semua data, tetapi result is not satisfied. In other words, you tak achieve your objective or milestone. So that's the risk that you must accept. You must accept, and the important is you must plan. Kan, when you study your master and PhD, this is your risk, not getting the result. Maybe it's very simple. Not many not many postgraduate students, they are GOT, graduate on time. For example, PhD suppose 3 years, tapi because of so many risks, you extend sampai maybe 5 years. So not many postgraduate students, they are GOT, graduate on time. So before you start your master, PhD, or maybe postdoc, you must know your risks. Apa yang menyebabkan you extend? Itu yang kena plan since the first day of your master, PhD, or postdoc. Apa yang menyebabkan you can extend. Tapi some student they are GOT, they are graduate on time. So congratulations. The reason is because they already have a plan since the first day of their registration. They know the risks. So when you know the risks, you must come together with the plan. It's very simple, like as a master or PhD student, right? Your ex here is getting the result, for example, or maybe your ex here, you are very good in research. You collect data, you work programming very good, and so on. Tetapi maybe your writing, your English maybe not good, and so on. So means at the beginning of your study, kena plan lah. Maybe you have to attend the more English course, maybe attend the workshop, training, how to write. Kan, sebab the requirement to submit thesis, master PhD kena ada essay paper, contohnya. Kena essay paper. So you must have a plan. Contohnya you have to, after 3 months, after 6 months, after 1 year, you can attend lah. You can attend maybe training workshop, how to write a journal, how to write thesis, and so on. Kena plan. It's not only suddenly this when the problem come to you in the middle of your study, you don't know what to do. So I mean you must have this plan since the first day of your registration. Sama dengan kerja. When you work as a academicians, you must plan what is the risk. You must know what is the risk when I working as a lecturer and so on. Example, maybe tak dapat grant. Tak dapat grant. In other words, every time when I apply this grant, selalu rejected. Itu the risk. When always rejected, in other words, it really affect your career. Maksud dia, maybe your career path slow sikit. It's not excellent. I mean slow sikit. So it means must have to know your risks and also plan about this thing lah. And some statement saying that the PG student tak guarantee employment. Maksud dia, don't think that when you do your PhD dah confirm dah kerja and so on. Masih ramai yang dah habis masters, they are still looking for the kerja and so on. Habis PhD looking for the postdoc and so on. So still ramai. So in other words, you must plan. You must plan during the first day lagi where you want to go. Because of this statement, I don't guarantee the employment. So it's really motivate you lah. You kena menghasilkan sesuatu yang the best, among the best. For example, I know maybe in Malaysia they have a 30 to 40 master student. I know in Malaysia maybe they have a 20 to 30,000 PhD student. Masa yang sama, hari yang sama saya grad. So I mean it's a very, very competitive. So what I have to do? I have to do something that really brilliant lah in my PhD or my master. It's not a biasa. I mean it's not a normal master. It's not a normal PhD or normal postdoc. You have to do the extraordinary. You have to do extraordinary. It means that the competitive is not the issue when you finish your study. Tak ada masalah lah sebab you're very, very in other words strong and good candidate. Senang cerita, for example, you want the best thesis PhD from the institution, maybe from the international bodies and so on. That's a good point for you. Or maybe you during your PhD you have a 7 patent, or maybe during your PhD you have the 10 Q1, Q2 journals. This is a make extraordinary for you. Even the requirement from the university, maybe they kata is only 1 or 2 accepted, then you can submit your thesis. Actually, it's the minimum requirement. Tetapi if for you, when you plan your career, you must have all these things. Kena ada lah. Baru you senang your life after you finish your study. In other words, the commitment. Commitment is very important to lifelong. In other words, whatever you do today in your master and PhD is not only for short term. You tahu tak yang you buat master sekarang, yang you buat PhD sekarang, or postdoc, okay, akan digunakan forever. Forever. Even one day you dah retire, even one day you dah pension lah. Your master, your PhD, your postdoc works, you still refer. You still refer. That's why this is a lifelong learning. Tak berhenti lah. It's not you finish your master, you the grad, you go to stage convocation, settle. Not like that. So actually, it's just ticket. It's ticket for you to go further in your career. Ataupun PhD lah, orang kata PhD is very excellent. Dah habis belajar, tapi PhD tak ada lah. Actually still have too long journey after PhD. What you have to do. In other words, the project that you're doing today in your master, PhD, or postdoc is really is for long term. It's not for the short term. Think about that. So you mean you have to give a full commitment during your master and PhD. It means making you better career after PhD and so on. So this is very important. In other words, the more you know, the greater your marketability. You want to market yourself. You want to market yourself. You want everyone appreciate ataupun recognize your work. You want everyone recognize your work. So, masa how to make this dream become true? That's why during your study, master PhD, you have to commit more. Make sure whatever you do, you can market lah one day. It's very simple lah. Like for example, the first degree, CGPA 4, semua nak, education nak, industry nak, berebut. That means you market yourself. You tak perlu risau lah dari segi employment ataupun career. So semua nak. So I mean it's up to you. You nak masuk mana, education ataupun industries and so on. Okay, we also have to know some factors affecting the career choices. This is very important. At first, interest. Kena tahu lah what is your interest. Contohnya lah, I'm really like engineering. I don't say I don't like law, management, ataupun business. I like business, I like admin, I like law and so on. Tetapi number satu is engineering. Engineering. So even today in engineering faculty, saya mengajar admin, saya mengajar business subject related. It's not only purely technical on the engineering. So mean is your interest, based on your interest when choosing a career, you really minat. Selain daripada minat, you must know yourself, your skill. You terror in what? You terror in engineering, you terror in programming, you terror in measurement and so on. So you should know your skill. Example, you're very good in technical. You're very good in technical, but you're not really good in doing research ataupun you're not really good in writing the journal and so on. Maybe you can go to the industry lah. There's making benefits to the company and so on. Okay, or maybe you like reading, you suka membaca. You like research, you suka buat research. You know, right? There's a very important question during the Viva, especially master PhD. Maybe they have a question from the panel atau examiner. Is your work done? So the answer is no. There is no research habis. That means after master ada banyak dia kena buat. That's why in your master and PhD thesis ada suggestion for improvement dekat chapter terakhir. So means it must be continuously either enhance, improve, optimize and so on. So means that this is your interest, this is your skill yang you ada from your masters, you improve to PhD, from PhD you further enhance in your after your degree lah. Let's say you are very interested in teaching. Are you interested in teaching atau research? That means you can go to the education line. So I mean you should know your skill. You should know your skill. Okay. So for example, myself, I like education. My skill maybe is in measurement or maybe programming. Dan juga I like to write. I like to write, menulis. Menulis. So I mean I make a I got a good choice lah, right choice, where I choose education line. So this is my skill, because of my skill. And also attitudes, either you are very strong or not. The people skill is very important. Experience, lepas your first degree, maybe you tak ada experience, and after your master PhD, maybe you tak ada experience, tetapi you during your master PhD you can get a bit experience, especially for those doing part-time student lah. Part-time student, they're working while studying. Is the challenges here is time management. So I mean you have a working experience already. Tetapi yang doing a full-time study, also you can get the experience from part-time work. Maybe you work as a maybe a part-time tutor and so on. So experience is very important. So means when you're choosing a career, kena tengok what is your experience. For example, your experience is in Twitter. Why not you go to education? Ataupun your experience is you bantu punya supervisor dalam buat programming, dalam buat apps and so on. So that's your skill, that's your experience. So maybe after you finish your master PhD, you can develop your careers more to creating more apps which giving the benefits to the people. Okay, so main based on experience, you can choose your careers. Tak adalah macam you during your master PhD, you work as a tutor, tetapi master PhD you go to benda lain. Contohnya you nak buat apa, buka kedai ubat ke apa, so it's totally different experience lah, okay? Tapi masih ada from the experience during master PhD, ada part-time to full-time, they jump to other career lah, buka kedai and so on. So and another factor also is a family tradition is very common. It's very common. Contohnya your family is having a background in business. So even you have master, you have a PhD, so why not you choose your skill, experience, helping your family. So it means it's also the family also really mempengaruhi for you in choosing your careers. Okay, personality, life goals, and works value is very important. Okay, personality is very important. Personality is very important. For example, you nak bekerja under stress, maksudnya tak ada stress. Maybe you can go to maybe education line, because education line we have different stress. Industry they have another stress. So it depends with yang mana you tahan ataupun you minat. That is very important. The personalities will answer you about what career you want to choose. Okay, about the science and technologies. About science technologies. As I mentioned just now, we already plan our ambition ataupun kita punya career sebenarnya sejak daripada sekolah. Since our maybe secondary school. Contohnya you join MRSM, so you know your field definitely in science and technologies. So in science and technology, especially in the MRSM, SBP and so on, they learn more about science, technology, engineering, maths. So STEM lah. So they know they have to more interest on this. The question is, what is science and technology? Why we need science and technology? The first answer here is science and technology is about the investigation. Investigation. This is also maybe good for master and PhD student. When you do your research, ini yang kena ada. You must do more investigation even sehari sebelum viva. You must do more investigation. When you do more investigation, you know which one is the best for you. And then about the science technologies is actually the artistic. Artistic. So what's the meaning for artistic here? Creative. Kena creative lah. As a master and master PhD and also postdocs candidates, you must be artistic. That means you must creative enough. In other words, you know, to find the best solution. Kena kreatif lah. Dia macam apa? Dia macam sukan. Sukan for you to become the number one in the world. So you must very artistic in your games lah, sukan you. Baru you boleh kalahkan semua pemain di dunia. Kalau you just go for training, you know the basic skill, itu tak cukup. Maksudnya you maybe not become number one in the world. And you should know why science technology actually is for social. Apa yang kita alami, kita rasai, what we having today, actually is based on the science technology's contribution. It's very obvious, right? Contohnya macam your apa, kita punya online class, meeting and so on, ataupun in other words, social media, you ada Facebook, you ada Twitter and so on. Actually, it's a contribution from the engineering ataupun science technologies. In other words, when you're doing your master and PhD today, make sure it's giving a social impact one day. And make sure you give a social impact. It's not only your predicted, does it? You must think about what are the social impact that you can provide to the public one day. And science technology also is about the enterprising. What's the meaning for enterprising here? It's more to the you are very intelligent in find a way to solve the problem. You're very intelligent. Maksudnya you're very smart. As a science and technology people, kita line lah daripada law, line daripada management, so line daripada apa business and so on. We are very more to the enterprising, means that we are very intelligent, we are very smart in choosing the best solution. So in doing your master and PhD atau postdoc, you must have this criteria, enterprising, and also conventional. Conventional is more, it's like the thing is already done, and then you believe it can be done. The thing is already done by people before you lah, and then you must have a strong belief it can be done with the new things. Kena ada belief lah, kena ada kepercayaan. That means as a student, from this paper they're doing this thing. Now I want to do this new thing. I believe I can do. Kalau you tak ada this trust, that means you're not in the science and technologies. So you must have this trust. Okay, and then about the science technology is more to the realistic. So what's the meaning for realistic here is logic. So whatever you do, actually must come with the logic. Kena logic. But in science technology, everything is, in other words, subject to change. Kadang-kadang the 10 years, the 20 years product from today, now is 2022. The product, for example, in my field, telecommunication engineering, the product in 2022, 2042, 20 tahun from today, you boleh imagine tak macam mana mobile phone in 2042? Mobile phone in 2042, we can say today is not logic. So, but we have a plan how to make these dreams become true. That's why we must realistic. Kita kena buat something that logic. Even when we see the proposal, tak logic. Tapi in science technology, make sure it's realistic, it's logic. Akan tercapai. Sama lah, dulu kita tak ada smartphone. Now it's 2022, we already have a smartphone since 2010 in the 3G. Masa 1980, masa first generation, ramai yang tak percaya kita boleh share gambar. Ramai yang tak percaya kita boleh even text message pun ramai tak percaya. Text message, sending message. Ataupun ramai yang tak percaya we can share video. That one in 1980. It was 42 years ago. Ramai yang tak percaya. But now today 2022, all the dreams become true. Yang mana everything is all in one in your mobile phone. Sebab tu in science technology you must realistic. The question here is you should know where are you. As a science technologies postgraduate student, kena tahulah where are you. Kalau you ada ke-6 this one, so means you are the right science technology people. You must have a realistic, you must conventional, enterprising, social, artistic, and like to investigate about the thing that you're doing. So you should know where are you. Sebab all these 6 criteria in science technology really affect your choices. I mean your career. Katakan you're not interested, you're very strong lah. You're very strong in programming. You're very strong in hardware development. Tapi whatever you do actually tak memberi kebaikan untuk public. That means you're not in the science technology. Sebab whatever you do, make sure is giving the impact to the social. It's very simple. For example, mobile phone, you are the best engineer. You are the best you're the best designer lah. Tetapi you tak the product that you develop not giving benefits to the public. So sebagai public, you rasa nak beli tak you punya mobile phone? Takkan kan? Sebab as a public, we want everything is inside, all in one. All in one is very important keywords. When you are designing, it means you must more realistic, artistic, and so on. Sebab tu kena ada ke-6 this one lah as a science technologies candidate. Okay, just a very quick one. Contohnya dekat Malaysia lah, I don't know, maybe our friend here, maybe international ataupun bukan study kat Malaysia dulu tapi in Malaysia normally after SPM kita banyak ways lah. I mean after bachelor you have so many plans. Okay, so for example you definitely in science technologies. That means during your daripada form 1 to form 5 you study a lot on the science, technology, engineering, maths. That means you very love this field lah. So I mean maybe you can plan either you want to be a medical doctor, you want to go for pharmacy, engineering, or even scientist. You become the means you can go either this one physics, chemistry, bio, maths, and so on. Ataupun you're very strong, you're very interested in IT as a programmer ataupun multimedia engineer and so on. Okay, so ini adalah kebaikan ataupun keistimewaan science technology field yang mana we have so many choices, banyak pilihan. Okay, after bachelor's so the candidates can go either master, PhD. Lepas PhD can within 3 years lah. Within 3 years, for example, after 1 year or 2 years, kena you interested in doing research, you nak membantu university, so maybe you can work as a postdoc in the university, helping the universities. Okay, and then maybe after your master, maybe you PhD, after you finish your PhD, you can work as an academician, bantu university or maybe industry, bantu the company for the benefits of the people. So it means this is the keistimewaan. This is the why science technology is very, very interesting to especially for the secondary school student. They should know science technology is very, very important for them. So I don't say lawyer, law, management, admin tak important. They are also important. Kalau tak ada lawyer, tak adalah settle case problem dekat Malaysia. Kalau tak ada business, tak adalah kedai-kedai, tak ada company. So Malaysia ekonomi akan drop. Ataupun kalau tak ada admin, even university, kita tak ada. It means admin is very important, helping the university to drive the university in the standard lah, based on the kita punya ISO. So that's a very important semua bidang lah. So in our case here, this is the kebaikan. We are under the science technologies. So actually, science technologies, they have a lot of career prospect. They have a lot of prospect. Sorry, I'm from engineering, so maybe for example, in engineering, we have electrical, electronics, civil, and so on. They have a lot of career prospects. Tak semestinya habis your master and PhD, you nak kerja sebagai education line, as I mentioned just now, based on your interest. So actually you can jump to ataupun getting experience in joining this career prospect. For example, let's say you are in electrical background. So they have a lot of potential prospect, career prospect. For example, here design engineers, project engineers, sales engineers, marketing engineers, and a lot. So it means if you are you have a strong interest in helping the companies where your background was in electrical, maybe you can jump to any of this career prospect. Okay, so so this is a career prospect for electrical. And also my field, telecommunications. I am from telecommunication background. Again, they have a lot of career prospects merata. Contohnya is the network engineers, telephony, switching, transmission engineers, broadcast engineer, wireless hardware development engineers, embedded wireless software engineers, mobile applications developer, telecommunication equipments, and so on. So they have a lot of career prospect under telecommunications. I have many, graduated master and PhD student. They're working now as an engineer. At the very beginning of their PhD, they already started lah. The reason why they are doing PhD is because they want to learn more. They want to learn more. Tapi after my PhD, dia kata, I have to back to my company lah to work as a, for example, telecommunication network engineer. That's a very good plan. That's a very good career path. It means when during your 3 years study, contohnya PhD, so you learn a lot. You learn a lot. Okay, you know more. That means your networking is already stable, established. So, after that, you will. You see, after 3 years, you have experience, you have education, knowledge, and so on. So means you are the best candidates to helping any industries. In other words, that's the reason maybe the candidates boleh demand lah, gaji tinggi ataupun better position and so on, because they have this capability in their life. But actually, it depends with their interest. Some of them, I'm telling you, some of them. They work in the industry. It's not because of the, they want to contribute. It's because of the salary is quite high, according to them. Maybe some of them, they're working in the universities because they picky. Maybe stress is not really high. Actually, still at the stress working in the university. But actually, it's based on interest. But I'm telling you, in choosing a path, when you really love your work, your path, right? Semua stres akan tenggelam. Semua stres akan tenggelam. Contohnya, you tak dapat grant. You tak ada stres. You tak ada fikir, alamak, asyik reject. You still senyum. Sebab apa? At the beginning of your career, you love this career. You love this work. In other words, ataupun after 2 or 3 years, you kata, alamak, aku tak ada student lah, master PhD. Okay, you still senyum. That means it's not really give a stress for you. But it's not really you accept the fact. That means terima kenyataan. You must have a plan. Contohnya tak dapat grant, so macam mana nak dapatkan grant? Normally, maybe you can have a very good networking, very good communications with the people industries, very good networking with the people, professor in nation universities, ataupun the very simple here is join workshop ataupun training macam mana nak write grant. Kena tahulah kriteria grant and so on, contohnya. So means is when choosing your career, right? When you have a very very strong interest ataupun love, semua stress akan tenggelam. Trust me. Okay, and then maybe competing. Competing also is very menarik lah perhatian. Contohnya lah, maybe I can share lah, okay? I can share during the education fair. Many parents, they're asking about their potential program for their kids. So daripada 10 parents, 9 nak pergi ke IT. Satu saja nak pergi engineering. The reason is because satu, maybe pengaruh engineering is susah, ataupun engineering is 4 years, lama. Maybe IT is senang, 3 years, ataupun is famous, senang dapat kerja, semua company ada IT. Actually it's depend with the interest. You can, as a parent, kita just boleh advise our kids yang mana diorang nak masuk. Tapi this is the fact lah. This is the fact. Kita kena improvekan lah dari segi kemasukan lepasan SPM ataupun matrikulasi ataupun A-level and so on ke sains teknologi, especially in engineering. In IT, yes, they have a lot. Kita macam kata pisang goreng panas lah, competing ni. Semua nak. Okay. So that means when you graduated as a IT ataupun competing student, so you have so many career prospect. Dari segi, for example here, software engineers, cyber security, cloud-based computing engineers ataupun IoT. My field also is in IoT. So IoT is a part of engineering as well. So dia macam transdiscipline is a merge. Okay, and then maybe electronic is very program yang lama, is a very pioneer. Sebelum ada termination ada electronics, sebelum ada computing ada electronics. Tapi electronic is still very hot program to our candidates lah. There are a lot of career prospect to our potential graduated student here. Dari segi application engineers, research development engineers, test application developer, design engineers, and so on. It's very kita katakan laku lah. Okay. So when you're doing your master and PhD ataupun postdoc, right? Regardless of the programs that you are taking today, so make sure, as I mentioned just now, you have a plan after your master and PhD, your career prospect. Make sure the career prospect is really something that you like, dan juga ada value for yourself. Contohnya lah, you habis your masters, you habis your PhD, you want to work as a network engineer. You want to work as an engineer? Yes, it's because you katakanlah you kata nak interested in to get the experience in the working industries. Yeah, please go ahead. That's your plan. That's your cita-cita daripada awal. You buat master PhD. Yeah, that's good. And then tak semestinya when you work in the industries, you will work industries forever. And maybe you can, after you have experience working industries, you will join education. So that's your career path. Tak semestinya. Ataupun tak semestinya when you working in the university today, sampai bila-bila you work in universities. Maybe you want to jump to industries, getting more experience, expose yourself to the new environment. Yes, can. Yes, also can. So it actually depends on your interests. It's depends on your interest. Okay. So maybe they have points that we have to know where to go for help. For example, in the university, they have a career center to guide you. Webinar. Kadang-kadang you tak tahu lepas master PhD nak kerja kat mana. You don't know where you want to go. Contohnya today webinar is one of the maybe lah platform for you to aware lah, where what you want to do today and also after you finish your study. Faculty also sometimes the faculty they will do the career path talk, career path workshop for their undergrad, master, and PhD students. Upper class students, student organization also sometimes they have organization in the university. They have a Facebook, they have a group, they have networkings. Even not in the nation, across the nation, it's actually worldwide also. Apa potential kerja dan juga dekat mana ada kosong and so on. Placement service also is one of the maybe something that can help you where to go and so on. Okay, how did you find your job? This is very important. Where you want to find your job is very important. Okay, during your postgraduate study, especially your masters, even PhD ada subject. Even PhD ada subject you kena tag. Kena plan lah, okay? What classes, this one you have to discuss with your supervisor ataupun your advisor. What classes you tag, this sem also next sem. Sequence of classes. Kalau you ambil ni, contohnya you ambil research methodology. I believe research methodology is a prerequisite. But you kena ada strong interest, kena ada strong background in research. That's why it's a must take lah. In other words, it's compulsory. So when you're taking the, for example, research methodology subject, is a important subject for you. Then you know what second of classes. Of course, it give you experience macam mana nak buat research. Okay, man, talking to many difficult classes, kena tanya juga. What elective do you recommend? You can ask your advisor ataupun your supervisor. And then what career? Your supervisor, sometimes your supervisor, lepas you PhD, dia ambil sebagai postdoc. So it's a very good plan lah, okay? So then after you master PhD, maybe you can work also under your jabatan yang sama, division yang sama, together with your supervisor. They have a lot. You work together with your ex-supervisor in one division. It's very common. And opportunities study mainly in what? So this one maybe is the question for you to discuss with your advisor and also your supervisor. I mean, during your postgraduate study, either master, PhD ataupun postdoc, you should have this plan. Tak boleh lah you buat research saja tapi you tak tahu the effect, you tak tahu the career, you tak tahu the opportunities. Kena tahulah everything. When this is you should have during your postgraduate study semasa. It's not after. Kalau after means dah lambat. In other words, you are behind from others. So this is very important. The thing that you should do during your postgraduate. In other words, you must become the knowledgeable about the careers. Saya kata tadi, it's not simply you want to choose your careers. You must knowledgeable lah, kena tahu yang mana apa effect. That means you must do several careers, not just one lah. But when you choose, must be number one, your priority. You punya keutamaan, yang mana you minat. Tapi sebelum you pilih yang you minat atau yang you punya keutamaan, so make sure you know others, several careers. For example, my field is I am the education line. I should know what's the role, what's the responsibility of engineers. So means you should know, you should investigate more lah, okay? I see a career counselor sometime in the university, and then the important here is everything is easy today. Semua di ujung jari. So it means you can get the advice, recommended, opportunities semua daripada social media. Daripada social media can help you lah in your career path. For example, you don't have friend tapi you ada friend dekat networking. So you can ask in the group for the vacancy ataupun so on lah. So now I think this one, our master and PhD student, they are very champion on this. Even champion than myself, champion than their supervisor. They know more about these opportunities. So, but this is just sharing. When you choose a career, you must knowledgeable enough. You must knowledgeable enough. You know other careers. Okay, and this is very important. Know yourself. I think in 5 minutes more, maybe. Few things that's you have to look like. Okay, about the major career field, prefer income requirements, geographical requirement. Some of our master PhD student, even dorang study kat Malaysia, dorang kerja dekat overseas. It's good to get experience, ataupun yang daripada overseas belajar sana and then come back to Malaysia, contributes to Malaysia. That's a very, very good plan. So I mean, it's depend with you. Special need also sometimes, in other words, the university, they really need this position. And also industry preference, as I mentioned just now, maybe some of us, we are interested to get experience working industry. Stress level, I kata tadi, semua kerja ada stress. Sama ada kita minat tak minat menghadapi stress or not. So as I mentioned just now, if you really love your work, stress akan tenggelam. That means dia akan jadi macam you ignore benda stress ni kalau you really love your work. That's why you must have a good career plan from today lah. When you study your master PhD, you must plan level of interaction, and then sama ada you minat kerja indoor ataupun outdoor. Contohnya education line kita kerja dua-dua lah. Indoor mengajar semua, outdoor we have to go outside, meet the industry people, visiting the student internship and so on, doing a research dekat luar. So as in education line kita kerja dua-dua lah, indoor and also outdoor. So it depends with you lah. Maybe you're interested in indoor only, tak minat outdoor. Or maybe some they interested in outdoor, tak minat indoor. And then you must have a balance between creative, conventional tasks, physical requirement, local, national, internationals. This is also very important benefits. Dan juga perks lah daripada company. Apa yang you dapat? Contohnya dari segi financial, dari segi rawatan macam mana ke? So this is also you have to look lah. And also this is very important lah. The boss. Of course sebelum you kerja tak kenal boss. Masa you kerja you know your boss more lah. Regardless any style of your boss, good or not good, bagi stress or not stress, you must respect your boss. You must respect your boss. That means you must like your boss style. This is very important. Kalau tak, it will give the impact to you dari segi kerja. Contohnya, you menghasilkan kerja yang kurang memuaskan punya bos. This is very important. So means you must like lah any style, or maybe you become the advisor ataupun orang kedua ataupun penasihat kepada bos. This is also very important. Ataupun in other words, when you have a very good your boss is a close friend, you will learn a lot from him or her, because boss consider the experience is the best candidate, is appointed by the management. So I mean it's a good opportunity for you to know more, to learn more from him or her. Okay, and then reputation also, ranking company, the nama ke, and so on. So this is maybe for you to consider lah, for you to consider. Okay. As I mentioned just now, kena tahu lah several careers. Tapi yang you pilih adalah you punya keutamaan lah. As I mentioned just now, my career now is my keutamaan. Before I choose my keutamaan, my priority, I have to study. I have to know another careers. Another careers. Even my punya adik ipar ke atau punya adik abang kerja sebagai farmasi, medical doctor, you kena tahu orang punya scope. So daripada sana you banding lah how they work, and also my scope, how I can work in my career. And then according to statistics, 60% of the students change their major during the PG career. 60%. It's because maybe lack guidance. So that's why you must knowledgeable enough in choosing your careers. But according to statistics, 60% change their major. Okay, and also must have a plan. And it's also very important pair to develop a wide variety of general skill, particularly related to communications. PR is very important, public relation. That means when you walking one day, you tak boleh jadi seorang yang bekerja seorang. You must work in team. That means you must friendly enough with everyone. I believe for master and PhD student in your university, you're very close with semua kawan lah yang buat master PhD. But actually, the good is you must kenal semua pensyarah dengan rapat. It's not only your supervisor. You must kenal semua pensyarah. Contohnya ada 40 pensyarah, you kena kenal lah semua. Make sure they know you. Everyone know you. That means it's not only you know your friend in your center, in your divisions, you must know everyone. In other words, your PR must good lah during the master and also PhD. That's a very good, is because you will improve your personality. Personality. Siapa tahu one of the professor can recommend you to work in the division ataupun in other industrial companies. So this is a good opportunities berbanding dengan kawan you yang maybe not really close with other professor or supervisors, because he or she only rapat dengan dia punya supervisor and supervisor only. So means you must have a good networking lah with others. Okay, keep your option open lah. Okay. These also some of the points that I already highlighted just now. Assess your skill, contohnya in academics, personal qualities, people skills. You should assess your skill lah. Skill is very important. Kalau you tak ada skill, walaupun you ada minat, okay, maybe lambat you punya career. You tak ada skill, walaupun you minat, lambat punya career. Okay, so actually start from the minat. When you start with your interest, your skill maybe kurang, you can sharpen your skill. You boleh tajamkan your skill daripada pengalaman ataupun workshop, training, and so on and so on. Okay, so it means when you're choosing a career, make sure your skill can ada at least sedikit. So from there you can move forward. You can move forward. Contohnya, I'm very good in apa kita panggil writing lah, writing. So my first day working as a lecturer at university, for example, I'm not good in writing, tapi saya ada minat. So what I have to do, I must improve myself in writing the journal, helping my student lah, writing their thesis and so on. So I mean assess your skill lah, okay? Personal qualities, people skill also must have. Leadership also is very very important. Masa you masuk, of course, you're not you don't have a leadership experience. Tapi one day when you have strong interest to lead your division, to lead your team, one day you will become the good. You will have a good leadership skill. So you must assess your skill lah. You assess skill. Okay, getting experience is very important. Tak semestinya you will get experience after your master and PhD. Masa buat PhD, master pun you will get the experience. Contohnya dari segi join competition, maybe a volunteer, contohnya professional bodies. Macam I join IEEE since my study. So it's very important for me lah. Sampai sekarang I still join my association. Contohnya macam, this is very important, Perintis lah. It's a very good associations to kumpul semua lah, gather all once, so to improve, to share and everything. Okay, my last words, how far I can go here is they have a 6-point formula. Identify the skill, determine the general requirements, learn about the day-to-day tasks, must have research the company, determine the company philosophy is very important. Masa interview pun dia akan tanya, what's the company philosophy ataupun mission and visions. The more you know about the job, the stronger the candidate you becomes. That means you not only know apa kerja you kena buat kalau you dapat this job, you should know about the company background. Filosofi. Kalau you tak dapat jawab, maksud dia you not really interest dengan you punya kerja. Kena tahulah the company background, company philosophy. This is the, I can say, minimum requirement during the interview, dia akan tanya, how far, how far you know about the division? How far, what is the mission of and also vision of the company? Kena tahu semua lah. Okay, so this is a very important, prerequisites for you before you choose your career after your master in PhD. Yeah. Okay. I think this is the last word for me. Thank you very much for Printis for organizing this event, this slot, and so Ramadan Mubarak lah to all next week, insyaAllah, and have a safe and blessed Ramadan, insyaAllah to all. Okay, so I think that's all my session, and thank you very much. And I will pass back to our moderator as part of the society. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Prof, for very nice and informative talks for today. Okay, for the audience, if you have any question, you can ask
yeah, please.
Prof. Dr. Madani. Okay, is there any question?
Kita guna YouTube kan? YouTube rasa tak boleh buka mic.
Sebab kita ada berapa orang saja kat sini.
Oh, okay, okay.
Jika kalau saya rasa pun kalau kita nampak macam tak ramai je ni, jadi kita boleh kalau dah tak ada, kita boleh akhirkan lah kita punya sesi pada ni.
Okay. Kalau ada apa-apa nak tanya ke, boleh email sajalah direct ke My University kan?
Ya.
Hello, Assalamualaikum, sorry.
Waalaikumsalam.
Dr. Madani.
Yes, saya.
I don't know, you ingat I lagi ke tak? I emailed you a few days ago.
Siapa?
Ilya, geologist UKM dulu.
Oh, okay. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. So I need a bit of help for lab meeting. So maybe from the email or how do I contact you nanti? So also for Perintis pun nanti I have some questions because I'm doing some advanced students how do you say it, learning. So it's not really common in Malaysia here. Ada pemata pintar semua, but really to advance the student, I'm trying to help. So yes, I need help also from Perintis nanti. So yes.
Okay, bagus, kita boleh gunakan medium Perintis untuk sharing any information, and juga kita boleh membantulah dalam research, especially memang semasa kita postgraduate research kan. Okay.
I pun baru tahu pasal Perintis daripada Dr. Karayu.
Ya, saya pun baru setahun lah join Perintis. Jadi memang banyak information sebab dia every week dia ada webinar.
Okay.
Sebab dan kalau masa cuti sekolah dia ada aktiviti untuk pelajar sekolah.
Okay.
So kita harap selepas ni lebih ramai boleh join Perintis sebagai ahli, dan kita ada potongan 50% untuk keahlian yuran seumur hidup. Itu memang murah lah, sebab kalau tak 300 jadi kita dapat 100.5 lah. Okey, jadi saya rasa itu saja untuk hari ini. Kita akan berjumpa lagi di sesi yang akan datang. Semoga selepas ni lebih ramai boleh join dan kita lebih boleh aktifkan lagi aktiviti dari Perintis. Itu saja. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, terima kasih semua. Assalamualaikum.
Terima kasih semua.
Terima kasih. Selamat menyambut Ramadan.
Ya, selamat menyambut Ramadan.